Bust it.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform.
Hello, thanks for staying with us. It's Political Platform. My name is Amechi Anapwe. The PDP convention and the fallout, other activities in the other parties, especially the big party, the ruling party APC. A newspaper came out with a bold headline this morning suggesting that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu may become the running mate to President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 presidential election. And you want to ask, what will be the fate of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo? Well, the report has it that he has decided to devote more time towards the issue of pursuit of God's work, evangelism, and may want to step aside to indeed devote more time to winning more souls for Christ. But of course, when you hear Ahmed Bola Tinubu as running mate to Muhammadu Buhari, it's not that it's new. It happened in 2014. The agreement we heard that was struck between the two before the mergers of the different political parties to form the APC was that he was going to be the running mate. Tinubu himself acknowledged that in the book written by former spokesperson to late President Umaru Yar'Adua Shehu-Adeni, his book Against the Run of Play, How an Incumbent Lost Election in Nigeria. Tinubu acknowledged that that agreement was intact only for certain politicians. He named them, the likes of Senate President Bukola Saraki, to thwart that move. They met the president then and convinced him to drop Tinubu, saying a Muslim ticket may not augur well for the APC. Now that the issue is coming up again, and when you take a look at recent developments, the newfound love between the president and Bola Tinubu, you may not completely want to discard that. If you recall, they flew together in presidential aircraft to Abidjan for a meeting of the EU and African Union, and he was a guest speaker at a book launch that logged the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2 years. So it's possible in politics, anything is possible. We also told you that the PDP is considering also to get its own vice presidential candidate from the Southwest. These are permutations that are ongoing. But beyond that, we shall of course be going into the controversy and SARS campaign. We told you on this program yesterday that it appears to have taken a political dimension, especially in Rivers State. Across Nigeria on Monday, it was a series of protests by some groups, some protesting for SARS, some others against SARS. The principal personnel involved in this, we have them in the studio. We shall, of course, be going into that. Adebayo Boduri, as usual, is with me in the studio this morning.
Amechi, I think one big news yesterday was the go back to Code of Conduct Tribunal order handed out to the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. I think it's an interesting development that we'll watch out for against the background that we thought is off the hook, but following the pronouncement of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Now that he has been asked to return there in January, clearly to, and what my reading is that that is one issue. No matter which way you look at it, if I serious political watcher, that is one issue that may define the race. One of the issues, so let me say, one of the issues that will define the race for elected positions in 2019.
Just yesterday, one of our sources was telling us that Bukola Saraki and Speaker Dugara were at the Transcorp Hilton hotel room of the new PDP chairman Uche Secondus to congratulate him. We have not been able to confirm that yet, but when such visits do come, then you can begin to understand that 2 + 2 may not necessarily give you fun. Now that the appeal court has said, go back to the Code of Conduct Tribunal. 15 of the 18 charges are not with substance, so thrown away, but the remaining 3, there are merits in it, and also the Court of Appeal asks the federal government to present a watertight case, called the necessary witnesses. The appeal court felt the necessary witnesses needed to prove that case were not caught. So it is not yet uhuru for the Senate President, as he will soon return to the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
Or he may choose to appeal the judgment of the Court of Appeal. He may head towards the Supreme Court.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. So any step could be taken between now and early next year.
Okay, let's hear from you. You know, you're an integral part of this program. It cannot be complete without your inputs. We continue to appeal to you. Send in your comments, your suggestions, your opinion on topical national issues. We'll get to your mails after this short break. Please don't get away.
Bust it.
They present the popular radio program, Political Platform, on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform.
Welcome back from the break. It's the mail segment, and I'm Etanikam Akipu.
And I'm Amaka Okoro. Welcome.
We begin with the Northern Senators Summit, and Hakeem Kazim in Lagos State has written in. He says, I wish to commend the initiator of the summit currently going on in Katsina. For once, I agree with Senator Saraki on the need for the North to change the rules of the game to conform with the best global practices. The simple question the summit should ask itself is, why is it that the North is predisposed to worst human development index in spite of its continued control of power and resources in Nigeria? Name it: begging, highest mother-infant mortality, swarming population of Almajiris, worst socioeconomic indicators, Boko Haram and herdsmen insurgency, and pervasive insecurity. The leaders in the North have failed woefully to uplift the socioeconomic conditions of their people. Not that their southern counterparts are better off. The need for urgent restructuring is now to free the North and Nigeria from the dependency and parasitic syndrome now ravaging the country and make us competitive in the global space. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
And on issues in the EFCC and the judiciary, Kunle Rotimi from Abuja says, permit me to comment on the EFCC and the judiciary as reported yesterday. The appeal court judgment does not in any way erode the prosecutional powers of the EFCC on the erring officers in the judiciary. Instead, the court wants EFCC to toe the path of the Constitution on discipline in the judiciary. What has EFCC done to prosecute Babachi Lawa, public officers who are Dubai landlords, and 7 ministers who allegedly have corruption issues known to the public? Has any court cleared Ibrahim Mago of corruption allegations as reported by the DSS? If EFCC seeks equity, let it have clean hands and mouth. God bless Nigeria.
And Rauf Adex in Abuja writes on the just concluded PDP National Convention. He says, the PDP National Convention has come and gone, but there are still unanswered questions. Nigerians are still asking about the outcome of the results. 2,115 delegates were accredited, and total vote cast was 2,296. Then, where did the unaccredited 181 delegates that voted at the convention emanated from? PDP needs to answer this question as soon as possible, because I understand that all efforts to get them to answer these questions has been unsuccessful, including the party's publicity secretary, who neither answer his calls nor reply text messages. I recall the publicity secretary was on the platform this Monday to tell us of his party's vision for Nigerians. I think the crew can still bring him back on the platform, or better still, put a call through to him to explain the disparity to the public, as this may determine public perception about their appeals to Nigerians as changed PDP. 2019 is by the corner. God bless Nigeria.
This is the much we have for you on today's news segment. Keep sending your contributions to us with your name and where you're writing us from to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much. Ujo Ejeye has joined us. Welcome to Political Platform. On the issue of the PDP convention, vote cast outnumbering accredited voters. Of course, we put the question to the PDP spokesperson, and they acknowledge that there could be mistakes in a convention such as this. They reminded us that even in the United States, you still have problems with the electoral system. That is a learning process that over time they hope to get it right.
Amici, I accept that it's a learning process, and even the United States has not got it perfectly right. But I think that the one of the votes outnumbering the accredited voters is a weighty allegation. It just goes to insinuate that there must have been some.
Let's quickly take this call. We'll put a call across to Barabe Musa, former governor of Kaduna State. And of course, when you head of the People's Redemption Party in the Second Republic, he's a voice you cannot indeed not to take into reckoning. He did an evaluation of the present administration, their performances so far, and at the end of the day, he came to the conclusion that it was a party that came to power based on broken promises. Is one voice that is always constant, a critique of every government.
An honest critique.
Of course, your own evaluation may be different. I've seen some who have said this administration have performed creditably well, almost delivering on most of their campaign promises, but he thinks otherwise.
Oh, well, you know, he's one man whose voice you can't discountenance. You can't say, oh, he has been bribed or anything. He's a man of integrity. He's a man of honesty, well known for virtues and not for vices. And when he speaks, even his enemies give him credit that he's speaking what he believes is the truth. It may not go down well with the other person, but he speaks what he thinks is the truth, even if there are other things, you know, to whatever he's saying. But from his own perspective, he's not influenced by any other consideration apart from what is best for this country. And he's been known for it over the years.
Thank you so much, Elder Statesman Barabe Musa, for joining us. So we read your statements on your evaluation of the present incumbent government. You said it came to power on broken promises. What do you mean exactly by that?
What I mean is what we have always been having in Nigeria since independence. Leaders promise us prosperity and security, but we ended up having even worse situation, a negative state of the nation. This is what we have been having since 1960. And the present administration has definitely carried out the same thing as we have been experiencing. Broken promises. Look at, for instance, the state of education in this country has been the same since 1970. Look at the state of economic development, the same thing. Security, since 1980s we have been having insecurity in this country, and it has continued to the extent that nobody is safe in Nigeria, from bottom up to the top. Nobody is safe. Anything can happen to anybody at any time.
So how do we begin to prevent this kind of a situation where promises will be made during campaigns and not fulfilled when a government goes into power?
First of all, let us have pre-formation and registration of political parties. Without the registration of political parties, let the electorate decide the fate of a political party and its election candidate. Let us bring back what we had before, which did a lot for us relatively. That is the leading role of the state in the economy to ensure peace, equality, justice, equality of the human person, and progressive even development of the whole country.
Okay, of course these are what governments do promise, but elections are not too far away. Maybe my colleague will want to...
Even their promises have not gone to the extent of providing for pre-formation and registration of political parties and the power of the electorate to decide the fate of political parties and their election candidates, and also the legal role of the state in the economy. No government in Nigeria has provided for that.
Comrade, let's look at...
Insist now that we know the negative to be done. If we continue like this, we'll one day just collapse. Look at the situation we have in Nigeria, where a state government can decide anything simply because it has to come as an executive governor. In particular,
comrade, let's look at the political parties, comrade. The parties are almost the same. No ideology, no
one exception. Whether I like it or not, there is one exception. That is the PRP. Distinctly different from the other political party, at least in terms of what they can do for Nigerians. And the PRP has a record of performance to prove that this is the party that can do for Nigerians what they want.
Okay, we'll have to thank you so much, Barabe Musa, that statesman, for your intervention. Elections are approaching, and the electorate have taken note of your stand on these issues. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move to one issue that is dominating headlines on the front burner now across Nigeria. The Special Anti-Robbery Squad Unit of the Nigerian Police. Campaigns going on across the length and breadth of the countries, some for and some against SARS. But Deji Adeyanju is part of the group, hashtag End SARS. They have held protests in Abuja, and they said the atrocities of this police unit are so much that the best thing that could happen to them is to indeed proscribe them and, of course, move forward. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So why are you against the continuation of SARS as a police unit?
You know, we are not against the police as a whole. You know, we are just against, you know, some of the atrocities that the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS have been committing, you know, over the years. And the goal is for police reform generally, you know, and we believe that things, atrocities like this cannot just not continue, and as a matter of fact, that you know, the Nigerian people have spoken. You can see the outcry on social media, and you can, and both online and offline, and people have narrated very devastating stories of the experiences in the hand of these people. There have been cases of disappearances, abductions, extortions, intimidation, bribe, you know, and the SARS, officers of the SARS go as far as escorting people to ATMs to collect bribe. You know, so the story is a very pathetic.
Okay, let's bring in Asita. He is the leader of the group in Port Harcourt, River State, doing their own protest, saying SARS is one institution of the police that is helping to rid the streets of criminals, and there is only enemies of the state that want SARS to be dispensed with. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So why are you protesting for SARS?
Now, there has been a rise in criminal activities in the Niger Delta area, and especially in River State. I am sure you know that there have been several cases of killings in different parts of the state. You see headless bodies, bodiless heads, in most parts of the state. There have been cases of kidnap of the whole bus loads of people at several times. The criminal activities generally as Niger Delta, there is a proliferation of arms and live weapons in the Niger Delta area. And so there is need for a strong wing of the police force to counter this criminality in the state. The policeman with a baton cannot fight armed robbers. So we are asked for an increase in the number in River State. They are the only organ of the police that the armed robbers are afraid of. There is no difference between a kidnapper and an armed robber. The police primarily is empowered to arrest any criminal. And if you see a criminal holding gun, will you go and arrest him with bare hands? Now, there has also an increase in cultism activities in the state. There have been several cases of crime and crime-related activities. I'm surprised today that the governor of Rivers is calling for the eradication of SARS, when even one of the chief security officers also was the commander of SARS.
Well, maybe it's not just the Rivers State governor that is calling for the proscription of SARS. There are some other gentlemen. In our studio here, we have the Jiadeyanju. Of course, I believe you may know him. He has been organizing protests in Abuja. Maybe we'll hear from him and find out from him some of the reasons they are adducing for the police to get rid of SARS.
You see, it is...
If you just hold on and sit, I will listen to the Jiadeyanju.
You know, I think it is quite ironic that you remember that even during the slave trade, Nigerians sold Nigerians into slavery. And under the military rule, Nigerians again tell us that the military is the best thing that can happen to Nigeria. And under this same country, during the Abacha years, you could remember that Nigerians and sycophants, almost 9 political parties adopted Abacha as the sole candidate in that for an election. So we have seen all kinds of things. Some of these things they are doing, they are sponsored by the police. In fact, we have a media group where members of the media, police were the one now contact members of the media that please come and cover this our rally tomorrow. You know, so we know that they are being sponsored. We are not surprised by this. You know, we are not interested in what Wike and Amechi are doing. That's entirely. It's even a shame that they have come into a very just cause. You understand? We frown at their attempt to politicize, you know, the NSAS campaign. We are not interested in whatever they are doing in Rivers State. This is the yearnings of the Nigerian people who are fed up with SARS people escorting them to ATMs. You see, the SSS is more dreaded than the SARS. You know, they are more professional, but you can never hear any Nigerian say that an SSS officer demanded for bribe or asked him for bribe or escorted him to an ATM. Okay. It's about training, it's about professionalism.
Let's bring in Asita. Beyond Rivers State, there are huge allegations of brutality, gross violations of human rights against the SARS. Do you think these are baseless allegations? Are they not founded?
Yes. Now let me tell you clearly, and I mean what I say. This whole thing about SARS and SARS started with Governor Wike. Some of those who are clamoring for the SARS are contractors, are not list when he started. It was after he lost the commander of the SARS because a proper officer or a proper rank was required to head SARS. When he lost it and they refused to be doing his bidding, that's when he started complaining and he's buying people. Now, I am not saying that the SARS is perfect. There have been cases where SARS have paraded fake SARS men, people who criminals who make SARS uniform to go and harass people. No responsible policeman will arrest somebody and take him to ATM to withdraw money and give to him. If you have such cases, you report to the police. They will investigate and arrest the people and punish them. There have been cases here in Rivers where you see criminals wearing military uniform. Haven't you seen the video of Donwani as the general in the army? So many militants with military uniform. Haven't you seen several criminals parading with police?
Let me ask you this question.
Just hold on and listen to this question.
Just hold on. Is much politics not being read? Not being at play, particularly in Rivers State, over this SARS issue? There is the allegation that the SARS is the move to reinforce SARS in Rivers State is in preparation for 2019 election. How will you react to this?
Again, like I said, the former commander of the SARS is working with Wike now. He knows what he used SARS to do to get into government. So he's afraid of SARS. When the chairman of PDP, very father, said SARS was with him for 1 week, protecting him and his compound and all the people who went there. That time they think of this.
Are you also aware that the current SARS commander in Rivers State, Akin Fakorode, was seen on a video that has gone viral on the social media, apparently tampering with the electoral process during the last election in Rivers State.
That video was shown on AI, not true. And challenged AI to air that video with the audio, the voice. They refused to play the audio. But that video was doctored. That woman actually ran to that commander because she was harassed by people who hijacked job of them over and scam.
Okay, let's bring in let's bring in Adeyanju here for his conclusion. The IG has commenced the process of reforming, reorganizing SARS, they called it. Are you not satisfied with the effort the IG has taken so far?
You know, once again, I want to commend my friend Asita, who is acting as the PRO of the police in this case. And again, you see, this is the same IG. This is the same IG that has been alleged by Senator Misa of receiving bribes to the tune of 120 billion naira from banks and oil companies. This is the same IG that gave.
But these are allegations.
Yeah, that's why I said alleged.
Subject to
that's why I said
the
alleged.
Current court process.
Yes, that's why I said alleged. You know, this is the same IG that gave directive for roadblocks to be dismantled nationwide. But there are roadblocks everywhere. We do not trust this IG. We do not have confidence in this IG. We are convinced that this IG will not reform SARS. We are convinced that even the SARS itself is beyond reformation, because what we need is the complete scrapping of that department of the Nigerian police and a setting up of a more professional body. We are even recommending that they can seek the help of the Department of State Security Services to train this new department, because we have seen that almost the SSS, men of the SSS and the police, they receive almost the same package. Why is one addicted to taking bribe? Why is the other one more professional in their engagement? The police as a whole are supposed to be like the first point of contact with the public, and because they are supposed to be the first point of contact with the public.
Okay. Sorry, we'll just have to cut you short there. We have run out of time. Thank you so much, though, for coming out here to join us. The debate continues, but we hope the reforms are instituted by the Inspector General of Police, even though you don't believe them, would yield positive fruits, and the Nigerian Police Force will be repositioned to really discharge their responsibility. Okay, thank you so much for being part of the program today. We return on Thursday for another edition. My name is Amici Anokwe. Have a nice day.